I've tried looking on YouTube for videos to see if anybody's made a video on how to make your own fog juice, but nobody's put it on there, which I'm kind of surprised because there's plans on how to make black powder on YouTube. My puppy's over there making a bunch of noise. Anyways, I'm gonna show you guys how I make my fog juice. So here are my materials. Alright, I've got a jug of distilled water. I only spent 60 cents on the jug. It's only 60 cents. And I have a measuring cup. This is my preference. I like to use I like to make it by the cup because it's easier to measure. And alright, I've got a funnel to put the juice into my container, a pin to stir up the solution, a bowl. Alright, here's the real good ingredient right here is glycerin. This right here is $3 for 6 ounces at Walmart. You can find it in the pharmacy. It's much cheaper than fog fluid, I can guarantee you that. And this will make roughly, I don't know, it'll only be a few cups of fog fluid. And so here's how I make it. Oh, I've also got a bottle of water, or a water bottle to put the fluid in when I'm done. Also, when you're done, be sure to pull the label off of the bottle and write something on there, because earlier last night I was fogging up stuff and I was like, oh, there's a bottle of water, I'll just take a sip of that. So I opened it up, stuck it to my mouth, and realized it was a bottle of glycerin and water, and it didn't taste very good. So just be sure to label it if you're going to use a water bottle or something of that sort. Alrighty. Take your bowl. Take your bowl. Take your glycerin. Set the bowl aside a little bit. Take your glycerin. I'm going to open it up. Take the seal off. Alright, now what I'm going to do for a cup, I like to use a 30% mixture, 30% glycerin and 70% water. So I'm going to take and I'm going to pour it into the measuring cup in between the 1/4 and the halfway up the 1/3. It's right in between the 1/4 and the 1/3 in the measuring cup. And then what I'm going to do is, now that I've got the glycerin in the cup, I'm going to take my distilled water. It has to be distilled water, by the way, so there's no impurities in it that can clog up your machine. And I'm going to fill the rest of the cup with water. Now when you do this, there's going to be glycerin settled at the bottom. And what you have to do, you have to take something to stir it, it doesn't really matter, and just kind of lightly stir it up to make sure the glycerin gets up, because when you go to dump it into your container, the glycerin will stick to the bottom if you don't stir it. So once I finish stirring it up just a little bit, I'm going to take my bowl and just pour it in. So now that's a cup of fog fluid right there in this bowl. But what I'm going to do now, for time purposes, I'm going to take my funnel, stick it in my water bottle, and pour in the fog fluid. This bottle of glycerin will make roughly 4 to 5 cups, something like that, of fog juice, depending on your ratio of glycerin to water. But basically that's it. That's almost exactly what is in the commercial fog fluids. And I've tested it out. It works perfectly. You can find plans online that are probably better than mine. But this is very simple. The only difference in the commercial is the commercial brands is what I've heard is that it uses a triethylene glycol instead of the glycerin, and I hear that burns cleaner or something and doesn't leave some kind of residue. I'm not really sure exactly what the difference is, but this works perfectly. It puts out really good, and you guys don't be afraid to try it. It's real cheap. I spent $6 for um, for 2 bottles of glycerin and a jug of distilled water, and I made maybe 2 of these bottles worth of fog fluid, and it's real simple. You guys should try it, especially if you don't want to spend $25 on a gallon of fog fluid.